Where's David? Vacation?
Call the meeting to order. First item of business is the minutes.
Second?
That was the meeting of December 3rd. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Move on December 5th. Minutes.
Second.
Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We have a December 3rd special. Is that a third one we've got?
Yeah, December 3rd, you have two on December 3rd, and then you have another special on the
Oh, we
Okay,
did.
we need one more motion on
I'd move
December
it
3rd.
On December 3rd. Second.
Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next item is discussion and approval of claims. Is there a motion?
Move it.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Mr. Phillips?
Everyone have a chance to read the memo that was in your packet with respect to a memorandum of understanding with the deputies on the subject of shift differential.
You read it, but I don't know if I understand it.
All right.
You should explain it.
The current contract calls for a 50-cent shift differential for what I call the second shift. If you come in after 1:30 and leave before 9, it's 50 cents. If you come in after 9 and leave before 7 and the next morning, it's 40 cents. The sheriff has been working to modify those schedules to put more deputies on the road without exposing the county to increased overtime. He's got that part figured out and is implementing it, but the unintended consequence was that we now have this tension between the language in the contract that defines the regular shifts and how they're really working their regular shifts. In order to fix that and avoid a fight between the time clock and the computer that does payroll, what we are suggesting is that the shift differential language in the current contract be changed to make it 45 cents. In other words, split the difference for anybody who's working second and third shift. Gene Jessen has projected the cost of making that change, and it doesn't cost the county anything. You actually save about $50 over the course of a year, assuming the same number of people are working the same number of shifts and getting the new differential at 45 cents. And so my recommendation is that to eliminate this tension between the current contract language and what the sheriff wants to do and avoid giving Gene a headache by having to try to figure out a new payroll program, that we just sign a memorandum of understanding that eliminates the current language and simply says that second and third shift people get 45 cents.
Is the union representatives in agreement with that compromise or amendment to the contract? Because that's a change, Doug, isn't it?
Yes, and they support it both locally. Deputy Troba, the president, is here if you have questions for him. And I have communicated with Bonnie Winther, the CWA business agent, and she supports it as well. So
They will have something in writing to verify that?
already been signed by Deputy Troba, and if the board approves, then I'd ask the chairman to sign it. We'll send it off to Des Moines to get Ms. Winther's signature, and it'll be done.
Is there a motion?
I would move it subject to the signature of the folks in Des Moines, Iowa.
Second.
Discussion? Gene?
Are we going to do the effective date as of 11/25?
Yes.
January 25th, did you say?
November 25th.
Backdated. Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Just make sure we get one back to,
Yeah, that's why I put subject to.
Kevin, pass around the authorization to initiate hiring process. Is there a motion?
You want to do personnel transactions first?
That's, what did I say?
Hiring process.
Is it hiring process?
I was close.
I don't want you to throw me off now, Larry. It's delicate here. I'd move on the personnel transactions.
Second.
Discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Need an authorization to initiate the hiring process.
I'd move it.
Second.
Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Anything else, Cory? Need a motion on the approval of a resolution thanking, commending an employee for years of service.
Move it.
Second.
Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Mr. Palello.
Good morning.
We have a final plat approval on the agenda this morning. Linda Chin's filed a two-lot subdivision procedure and application related to the sale of proposed Lot 1 to an adjacent property owner. She'll retain the balance of the property subdivided. It'll remain in agricultural production. The zoning commission's recommending final plat approval. Staff concurs, subject to 3 conditions, all of which have been met.
Okay.
Be happy to address any questions.
And move it.
Second. Second.
Discussion?
We'll place the plat on the chairman's desk for signature.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Do you
Thank
need
you.
any of this back, John?
Yeah, I'll take them back.
Next, we have an approval of a resolution for a tax abatement for a mobile home that is uncollectible or impractical to pursue collection.
Move it.
Second.
Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Patty?
What you have before you this morning is the 28 agreement for creation of the Supervisors Regional Mental Health and Disability Services for MHDHS services to comply with the new state laws requiring regionalization. The 28E has been arrived at through the CPC's meeting of the 4 counties as well as the governance board, getting its structure put together to go forward with the process. So the effective date on the 28E is July 1, 2014.
I might just add to that, it took several meetings to go through it. I know you guys met quite a few times. I believe, was a template handed down from the state probably?
ISAC, yeah.
Yeah. And then we tweaked it. We had the county attorneys from each of the counties review it. We also had Dennis Butler review it, and we revised it, several times based on the input. So we think we've got a working document and something we can all live with. And it really equalizes, I would say, the decision-making between all the counties. Even though we are the largest, we won't necessarily be able to be tough. And
We're
rough.
equal stakeholders.
We're equal, and
Yeah, that's
it was
good.
designed for that purpose, was to bring us all together Financially, we need to all agree. It's unanimous decision-making. I believe maybe in some of the other sections, it's majority.
Yep.
What will follow after this is the management plan, which that's a huge component and probably will be even more difficult than the 2080, I think, to finalize. But it seemed to be well received by all the counties. I'm not sure if it's been passed yet, but it's
2080.
The
I believe
2080.
it's on everybody's agenda today to pass.
Good.
So there is good consensus, and with that, I would move to approve it.
Second.
There's been a whole lot of discussion. I think what we ended up with was a very good agreement. When you're dealing with the state, you do the best you can. And from what we know at this time, we're in pretty good shape with this.
Okay, good.
None of the 2080s have been approved, I don't think. There have been some regions that have already turned theirs in. They're a little bit further ahead maybe than we are, but last we heard, they're still all sitting on the desk waiting to be approved. So we're certainly time-wise
We're in good shape.
good shape.
And the management plan, I believe the deadline date for that is April 1. So I'll be attending a meeting tomorrow in Des Moines down at ISAC with Shane Walters to get the updates on what the management plan requirements are and what the administrative rules are going to be towards the management plan. And then we've got to come up with that and present it back before the governance board. So we're ready to go and submit it April 1, and then go for a July 1 implementation date.
I might also note Sioux County is the CEO. Is that the CEO that was agreed upon? So it wasn't necessarily the largest county going in
No.
and saying we're the CEO. Sioux County has agreed to take that function on. But basically, he will be just entering information that he receives from each of the counties, and we still will be doing a lot of our own bookkeeping and our own financial plans, and then handing it over to him, and he'll be responsible for, giving it to the state.
Okay.
Anyone else? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Dutch, thank you.
Mr. Nara.
Good morning. Mark asked me to step in for him today, so do my best. The first item that we had on the agenda was consider the resolution for levying the special assessment certificate to the county auditor for the Woodbury County Riverbank Protection Project. And I think you had a backup that showed the parcels, and that had been updated. Since you've gotten that, there are 6 parcels. 5 of those are Mr. McCall's, and one is a Morthorst. And Mr. McCall's area encompasses about 83% of the parcels. And he has also agreed to pay $30,000 at the completion of the project if it is so signed.
Move it.
Second.
Mr. Butler.
If I read this right, it's being repaid on a 3-year plan. When we first talked about this was going to be a 2-year plan. We're talking about the repayment loan we're
Right.
making. Okay, it's coming out a little off the sales tax. I guess the question is why we go from 2 to 3? That takes longer to pay back to the county.
That's the suggestion that Mark made in the resolution, and I'm not sure on his thinking if the 3 years was just giving the taxpayer a little easier chance to pay the debt.
Okay. It was different than what we originally said we were not 2 year long. I just want to make more aware of the change.
Yeah, we're tying our money up for an additional year is what's.
That's from a little off the sales tax.
Is that going to create an issue or a problem for the county to have it that additional year, Dennis, or is that?
No, we got money there to do it. It's
Uh-huh.
just, is you want to go instead of 2 years to 3 years, that's the only question. If the board want to do it, it's not a problem.
But if it's going to relieve a burden on one of our taxpayers, I don't have a problem with that.
And we don't know if maybe they're under, after further discussion,
Discussion
that
too.
that was promised either, so.
I don't have, as long as it's not going to create an issue on either side.
Okay. Was there a motion in the second?
There was a motion and a second to approve it. I did second it. I think, Mark, did you make the motion? Okay.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
So this next one is with Clark Construction?
This is the contract for $128,000 for Clark Construction to do the project. And those contracts are on the chairman's desk, and the contractor is anxious to get going. He's done some preliminary work. We have cautioned him he does not have a signed contract, so anything he does is on his dollar. But do know that we will have Woodbury County people on site 100% of the time. His sizing and his placement, since he is not using a revetment, he's using a broken concrete product, and I've already gone down and looked at his site a few times, and it looks like a good product. So I think it's going to be, I think it'll be a nice project. We'll make it look nice when he's done.
Move it.
Second?
Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
I have a question. As we do this contract, are we administering it and getting reimbursed from the board, or are we sending the bills to the board as the contractor is moving along? That's a discussion.
For our 98 now, well, where's the money going that the guy's gonna pay back? Going straight to road fund?
Well, I'm sure the check can be made out to who's ever administering and paying the bill. For
I would say
reimbursement.
board.
Okay.
They can send the check to the board, we'll put a local option, and we'll just pay the whole bill when it comes due.
Okay, well, I know the contractor will want progress payments because he is some out of pocket. So you normally get a 2-week progress payment as he moves along. And I would think that 3 weeks you would have the project done once it begins.
I would assume you'll sign off on them before they get here.
Well, yes, we'll do a completion certificate for the board and a field review and who's ever interested in seeing the project before we do the completion.
You say this is going to be done in 3 weeks?
Once he starts,
Fast.
it won't take him very long. It shouldn't take him very long. So,
If there's no glitches.
If he wants to
well,
get
yeah,
paid,
I think there's a 30-day construction period with no winter free work, so whether it's 10 below or 40 above, he needs to be working, if at all possible. So, and he does already have quite a bit of the material sized, as I understand, so it's basically hauling it and placing it. So,
we vote on that.
Okay. I think, did you vote on that, Pat?
Yes.
Okay, okay.
need to pass this around for your signatures on
Okay.
the resolution, also before I forget.
Okay, this resolution, we do this every year, right?
We do. This is based on our inspections from Calhoun and Burns, and a number of bridges were found to either have the limits lowered. We do have one bridge that's closed, and that's U-51, and that is a bridge over the Wolf Creek just north of 141, actually goes across the levees. One farmer uses that bridge, but he also uses the levee on the west side. Since it was already posted, he couldn't really take a tractor over it safely. That bridge is in the 2017 replacement year for construction. Depending on what happens, as we move bridges around, it could move up. Of all the bridges that are on here, all but 3, I believe, are programmed for replacement. If you were interested, Mark said he could supply a map for the December 17th meeting showing the bridge locations.
Is there a motion? to
Move
receive?
it.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thanks, Ben.
You bet.
ahead of ourselves.
Good thing.
Is Ivan Dosler going to be here? He's not going to be here. Who's going to do this? Ben? Are you handling the Orton Slough discussion?
Yes, but we rescheduled that for the 17th. We're going to be sending you some information on that. There were some scheduling conflicts with INS, with Ivan Dressler. So I talked to him yesterday morning just to confirm, and there was some mix-up in his scheduling. So he'll be ready to give a presentation on the 17th, and he'll have an general outline on their findings, something for you to review before the meeting. I'm not sure how depth it'll be, but
All right, so you'll get a hold of Karen and get a time on the agenda?
yeah, when we do the agendas on Thursday, there'll be a new agenda item for that, basically the same as what was previously planned for today. But 20 minutes should be sufficient. I think we've already planned a January 16th meeting in Salix for the public if everything goes.
They're ready.
Oh, I know it. We did have an initial meeting and there's some interesting things, no surprises.
We need a motion to move this. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Hearing of any individual or group that wishes to make a presentation to the board. Any of the board members? We have a closed session, but that's scheduled for 11.
11 o'clock.
Why don't we adjourn until 11 o'clock?
Okay.
She said he had really helped her out. That was what people through. Stay on her feet. And then just her perceptions, he just took her. Oh, and tripled her rent. Then he bought daily drive because she said because she was interested in